You are the most important thing in your life right now. Not anybody else, because until you're better, you can't really look after anybody else.
Hey, I'm Trav. Back in 2010, I got hit hard with chronic fatigue syndrome, only 6 months after starting my new personal training business. I've spent the last 8 years researching and experimenting with my body to help get back to my best and beyond. I'm now sharing my story and my strategies with you so you can get back to living the life you love.
Hey, Trav here, holistic health and lifestyle coach, helping you make your comeback. Today, you'll learn how to start a new health strategy if you are a procrastinator, or if you procrastinate about things and just put off starting because of whatever reason. Yeah, maybe it's too hard, maybe it's just too much, maybe there's too much going on, maybe you're too busy, or maybe you just have been a procrastinator forever and it's just what you do. But it's important that you learn this strategy, because the longer you keep putting things off, the longer till you get your life back. Now, that's what this is all about. So, here are 4 ways that you can start these new health strategies if you are one of these procrastinators. Step number 1. Start one new habit every week, or every 2 weeks, or every 3 weeks. So, if you try and do too many things at a time, it is going to be overwhelming and you'll find it very difficult to keep doing those things. If you do one thing, you only have one new thing to focus on each day. And that means that once you've done it, you don't have to think about it anymore. So just do that one thing and make sure you are doing that. Just that's it. Until it's a habit like brushing your teeth where you don't even think about it, you just do it. Now, I said every week or 2 or 3. So the reason I say that is some people are in more of a rush to bring things in, and that's great. But for other people, it's going to take a little bit more consistency to actually make it work. So if you do it every 2 or 3 weeks, then you know that that is an absolute habit. They say 3 weeks to getting a new habit formed. So if you started this new habit and you did it every single day for 3 weeks, then you would absolutely have it nailed. And it's probably going to be so ingrained in you that you don't really have to think about it too much anymore. And that's really what we want. To get you to a point where you don't have to think about what you're doing, so you just do it automatically, as a habit. It's just something that's part of your life now. So I don't mind if it's every week, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, every month, whatever it takes for you to get started and do that thing. But once it's a habit, move on to the next one. Because there's always going to be something else that's going to be just a little more helpful. So if your health on a scale of 0 to 100 is down on the lower end, and you can just move it up just slightly, doing that on a daily basis is going to move that needle much faster. And really that's what it's all about. Okay, number 2, check off compliance on a list or a calendar. So I love having a checklist to be able to work off, especially when you have multiple things you're doing. Now, when you're dealing with chronic illness, quite often there are a lot of different strategies that need to be worked on, or different supplements you need to take, or medications, or different things like that, okay? It's not necessarily that easy to just remember them all. Maybe when you're at 3 or 4, yeah, not too bad, but when you're at 10, 15, 20, it kind of gets a little bit overwhelming. So I like to make up a checklist. If you do up a checklist, just like a little spreadsheet or something like that, where you can write down whatever the habit is, or the supplement is, or the health practice, and then next to that, I like the days of the month, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, 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 all the way through. Just tick it off. Tick it off, tick it off, tick it off, tick it off, so you can see at the end of the month how well you've been doing. You can look at it at the end of the day, or as you go through your day and go, oh, I haven't done that one yet, I'll just go and do that now. I forgot to take that one, quick, I'll just cross that one off. Easy. Another one I mentioned is a calendar. So if you have an old school calendar, the paper ones you actually have sitting on the wall, I actually got one for this very purpose, because it's easier for me to use the calendar as a visual cue to say, hey, did you remember to do this? Hey, have you done a good job or not so good a job? I also use it as one of those things to record how I've been feeling, because migraines are part of my life. So if I've had a migraine, I'll be able to mark it up there, and then I can look back on the rest of the month and say, hey, oh yeah, okay, cool. So I did this many different things in my checklist, but the effects were, oh, my migraines, they're actually more this month, or they're less this month, or I can look back on a year's worth and go, oh, okay, so there's the incidence of my migraines were maybe 5 or 6 a month, and now it's down to 1 or 2 a month. Oh, cool. Helps me to be able to reinforce that I've been doing the right things and I've made progress. Now, this is the same thing for you. So check off your compliance on a list. Really easy to make one up. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be paper, it can be on your computer, it can be on your phone, it can be on a calendar. Just make sure you keep track of it, because if you can get it out of your head, that's one less thing to think about. And frankly, if you don't have a lot of energy, you don't have a lot of time, and you don't really want to be stressing about all of this stuff in your head. You want to be able to use that mental power for the most important things in your life. So, number 3, do it first thing in the morning. Whatever that habit is, whatever that practice is, whatever that supplement is, try and do it first thing in the morning. Now, this is not going to be possible for everything, but a lot of things you can do first thing in the morning. Take the supplement. I mean, I have a whole bunch of supplements that I take first thing in the morning, and it's just one of those things that I do, and the majority is kind of done in the morning. The majority of the health practices are done in the morning. So then I can move on to whatever I need to do for the rest of my day, get on with the important stuff, and I don't have to think about it anymore. So the checklist helps for being able to keep track of that, and that's great. But if you can get it all done the first thing in the morning, by the afternoon you want to just relax, no problem. You can relax. You want to go out that night, oh no, I forgot, I really need to go home and I need to do this thing and I can only do it at home and it's really important for me to do that. That's no good. I could have done it earlier, but I procrastinated, I put it off. Okay, so that's why. First thing in the morning, just get it done. Don't even think about it. The less you have to think about it, the easier it's going to be. So, number 4, reward yourself for compliance and celebrate those small victories. So, if you have a good month, and I don't mean a perfect month because it's never going to be a perfect month, but if you have a good month or a good week or even a good day, and you're just like, yeah, I did really good with that, be grateful for that. Celebrate that small victory. And let's say that you did a really good week, and a really good week is a very uncommon thing for you. You know, you've been procrastinating, you've been putting things off, you've been fighting or resisting against this, or you know, you don't really want to admit that you're sick, but you know that there's something going on, so you're trying not to do that, but you have done it this week. Celebrate it. Celebrate it somehow. Take yourself to a movie. Go out to dinner with friends. Cook a meal for someone. Get someone to cook a meal for you. Whatever. I don't care what it is to celebrate. Go and buy yourself something nice. It's important to do this so you keep reinforcing those good behaviors. So yes, I did something that was important for myself. It was a little bit hard, but I did it. I succeeded, and I'm happy about that. I know that it's going to improve my health, and that's going to lead me to my recovery much faster. So reinforcing that behavior is really important for you, and that is something that I tell everybody to do. A lot of people just don't like this, and I was one of these people too. You know, they just forget to celebrate. You know, sometimes it's big things. I had a friend last year who wasn't going to celebrate a 10-year business anniversary. I mean, that's a massive accomplishment. And you know, not going to celebrate that? Not too busy, too focused on other things. Well, what's more important than you? You're looking at, you know, if you've got some sort of health issue and you really need to get that fixed, like you are the most important thing in your life right now. Not anybody else, because until you're better, you can't really look after anybody else, especially the way that you want to. So bring it back to you. Look after you. Reward yourself. It's a self-love thing. Very much. Very much. Do you deserve to be healthy? Absolutely. Absolutely. So reward yourself. If you do a great job at something, fantastic. Go and reward yourself. Now try not to reward yourself with junk food and stuff like that that's going to make you feel worse. Don't reward yourself with some sort of self-destructive habit or practice. It may happen from time to time, but again, even if that does happen, okay, move on. Start again the next day. Start again the next day. And get back to that checklist. Get back to that new habit. Get back to that, and just keep repeating this process over and over and over again. Because this is what's going to lead you out of that hole. You see, with chronic illnesses, they're very, very complex. There's a lot going on, And you can't just do one little thing. You can't just change your diet and have it magically happen overnight. No, you've got to change your diet, and then you're going to have to tweak your diet, and you're probably going to have to tweak your diet again and again and again and again and again. And it's going to change from being this sort of way to this sort of way. Maybe it's going to be a little bit higher in fat this time. Maybe you're going to have it a little bit higher in carbohydrates this time. Maybe you need to increase some protein. Maybe you have to switch to a vegetarian diet. Maybe you need to switch to a meat eater diet. They're all different options and different possibilities for you and your recovery process. So, hey, you've got to be flexible with this. Understand that this is a complex issue and it's going to take some work. So keep working on those habits. A new one every week, or 2, or 3. Check it off. Keep a list. Keep track of everything. Mark it off on the calendar. Do your most important things first thing and try and do the majority of things first thing if possible, and make sure you reward yourself for your compliance, because hey, you've got to keep keeping the faith. Hey, yeah, I'm doing a great job. I'm getting better. I might not feel much better than I was last week, but I've got this new habit in place and I know that is supporting my health, so I know I'm better. And it might just be mentally better, and that's a huge edge for you too. Look, I promise you that if you do this for the next even 3 weeks, maybe it's 3 weeks, and you just get that one habit nailed, and you're like, yeah, all right, cool, I can do this. That gives you the next 3 weeks. That gives you the belief that you can do that next habit. You no longer procrastinate so much because you have a set strategy of making things work. And that's what I want for you. I want you to have a strategy that you know works for you, that you have confidence in, because that's what's going to lead you out of your hole. So, hey, keep at it, and just keep doing those things that are important to you. You may not feel it right now, but a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, you're going to thank yourself for doing such a great job. If you like this and you want more tips like this, you can grab your free cheat sheet from conquerchronicfatigue.com. The link is in the description. You will get answers to the most common questions that I have been asked on how to recover from chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia. Now, this took me years to put together. Tons of research, over $150,000 spent in my own recovery and research courses, all sorts of things to find the answers to these questions. I'm going to give them to you for free because I want to help you get back to your best. So, go make your comeback and we'll talk again soon.